Hello, good evening. Hi everybody, how y'all doing out there? It is your girl Lady Mocha with Cafe de Paris, and I want to start off by saying I appreciate all of the positive feedback. I appreciate people reaching out to me, want me to reiterate on a few of the topics I have addressed. I really appreciate it. It lets me know that someone is not taking the messages that I am reciting in a negative manner. These videos are not to bash black women and put black men on a pedestal or vice versa. Basically, I just really feel like black women, we can do so much better. And if I didn't care about y'all, I wouldn't be doing these videos for you to kind of, be able to do some self-evaluation within yourself, because I believe in us and I believe we all have potential. But at the same time, I do know that there are some good black men out there who don't always get the credit that they truly deserve. So at the same token, I believe in giving respect where respect is due. So if you're getting offended or you're feeling like I'm siding with black men more than I'm siding with you, or whatever the case may be, you are entitled to your opinion, and that is fine. But at the same token, some of us can't stand truth, and we can't stand truth if it slapped us in the face. A lot of times we just want people to be on the bandwagon, on the same bandwagon with us. We want people to agree to our F-ups. We want people to agree to our mistakes. And the moment somebody calls us out on it, believe me, I get it. It's embarrassing. And certain issues, hit you straight home, and I get it. But it's up to you to take the situation and apply it for you to better yourself. And, if it's not you, then so be it. You don't always have to, black women, we don't always have to get on every vlog and respond every time somebody has something to say about us. If it's not you, then you don't even need to be stressing it. Okay? If it does not apply, don't reply. Okay? Like Lovey T.I. would say. And that's the truth. So if you're feeling some type of way, it could be because of something you know within yourself that you knows the truth. And sometimes truth is like bad medicine. It tastes nasty, but it's good for the soul. Okay? So, y'all don't, black ladies, you don't always have to come on my vlogs and throw shade and, oh, you just a nigga lover, or you on niggas' dicks, or whatever the case is. Honey, I'm 17 years married. I've been on the same dick for 17 years, so it don't matter to me. But we're going to move on. We're not going to stay on that. But anyway, I appreciate all the feedback and everything y'all been giving me. As promised, I said I was going to do why black women pick up bums part 2, and we're gonna go straight into that. Like I told y'all on the last video, it has a lot to do with the female identifying with the struggle instead of the man that is in the struggle. Okay, just because you and the person, you feel as if you and another person are on the same level, you could put that person on and figure both of y'all can grow together. The trick to that is sometimes when you put people on that's in the same struggle as you, instead of you thinking you're going to bring them up, instead they pull you down. So women, we have to be careful with picking up men that we feel can sympathize and empathize with our struggles, because a lot of them are not empathizing with you. They're just using you. So while you think this person is building with you, they're not trying to build anything with you. They're in it for their own personal agendas. And I'm going to speak on some of that in this video. The other issues I wanted to address for why black women pick up bumps is, the next issue is self-esteem. Black women have a terrible issues with self-esteem. Okay? And we constantly feel like we have to feel validated. We have to constantly feel praised. We have to constantly feel validated. The moment somebody tells us we're not doing something right, or we don't look good, we ain't pretty enough, we ain't successful enough, we instantly get an attitude. And we instantly get offended. It's so easy for black women to get offended for the simple fact that the only way somebody can make you feel bad about yourself is if you feel bad about yourself. If a man comes up to me and call me a whore and say I ain't this, I ain't that, yeah, I'm going to feel bad for the fact he's calling me something that I know is not true. But I'm not going to get to the point where I feel like I got to defend it. Who's you calling a hoe? Your mama's a hoe and this and that. No, I don't. What black women don't understand is being loud and being just as grimy in your response doesn't make you look better. It makes you look bitter. And it's kind of like, it's one of them things. It's kind of like dealing with a bully, you know, kind of. It don't take much to stir a bully up, because we know most bullies, they stay in heat. They stay angry. So if you really want to, you know, have a bully to pick on that day, you already know what to say and what to do to provoke them, because they'll let you know what it takes to make them angry, what buttons to push. They expose all of that. Black women, we have become our own worst enemy because we respond to every negative thing people say. Instead of you bettering yourself, you ain't always got to respond to every vlog. You ain't always got to respond to every post and go on this, all black women ain't the same. We know we all ain't the same. We ain't got to stress that. We don't have to prove that to nobody but ourselves. Okay? So we ain't got to get on no ramp and raving. We ain't got to get on this keyboard war with everyone, every vlogger or every chat room that has something to say about black women. I mean, if it don't apply, don't reply. I'm not going to get offensive if somebody call me a crackhead, because I don't do crack. I don't smoke crack. I don't care how much they try to convince themselves that I'm a crackhead. I know I'm not. So guess what? I'm not going to argue with you about something that I know is not true. But black women, I don't know what it is about us. We get on pit bull mode all the time, and we just feel like we have to defend ourselves on every tiny little issue. Or every tiny thing that people have to say about us. And it comes from self-esteem. If you think about it, go back in your high school days. Pretty girls always hung with the pretty girls. The average looking girls always hung with the average looking girls. All the jocks hung together. All the nerds hung together. There was all of these different groups in high school. Very rarely would you find an ugly girl that was not that attractive trying to fit in with the pretty girls. You know why? Because she was automatically intimidated by just the fact of just trying to fit in with these group of girls that look so pretty, always wear the newest shoes, always have the newest outfits that come out, knowing she's not on that level. Would make her feel even more inferior. So what she does to play it safe is she hangs with other females that on the bottom scale level with her. Okay? You know why? Because that's what makes her feel more comfortable. It's very intimidating. It's like being broke and you in a room full of millionaires. Okay? Your suit come from Walmart. They suits come from Dolce and Gabbana and all these Armani, all these Versace. You're going to feel out of your element. So, again, that is why we only deal with people who we feel on our level. So that reflects back to why some black women, again, why some black women have the need to keep picking up bums, because you don't feel that worthy of yourself. And actually, there was one of the men that did respond and say that, and that's true. Red Supreme, you are 100% right. When you said bums attract bums, you're exactly right. Because you're not going to deal with someone if they're not on their level. Like for me, I've never been the kind of girl, I could never really deal with thugs. I think I dealt with one or two, being young and dumb. Once I saw they were just too aggressive, they're too abusive verbally and mentally, I just strayed away from those type of men. I cannot flow with them, and I'm not going to pretend I can, because I'm not on that level. But you got some thug females out here, because there are thug females that are just as rough as some of these men out here, that's just as gangster, believe it or not. They can roll with them kind of men because they feel like they're on the same level. So basically, you pick up what you attract. Okay? So if you're picking up bums, 9 times out of 10, you don't feel worthy of yourself, because you're not even going to be in the company of men with that type of character. I mean, I've had one or two that tried to approach me even before I got married, even within my marriage. I was automatically turned off. They didn't even make it as far as to buying me a free coffee. Cause I already knew within 2 minutes of conversation when he, his conversation starts off with, yeah, what's up, baby? I mean, when you gonna holler at a nigga? That's already a turn off for me. I'm not even about to sit up there and entertain you or hold a longer conversation with you. But you got some women that they like stuff like that because guess what? Dealing with the man with high intellect, with high intelligence, with a lot of educational background, that is too hard for a broad on the Project Street level to comprehend with, because he's going to be bringing things up in the conversation that she's mentally not going to be able to connect with. So guess what? She rather play it safe and pick up another bum off the street, somebody who on the same level as her, so she don't really feel like she has to elevate herself. That's how some people feel comfortable staying stationary. They don't want nobody bring them up here. They rather somebody keep them right there. Not understanding that you, in a sense, you only hurting yourself because you could be growing and elevating into bigger and better things. But you want to stay stationary because stationary don't take effort. It don't take effort being stationary. It don't take a lot dealing with a dude that just like to smoke weed, drink, and pick up some Chinese food for you and your kids. That's one thing. But try dealing with a man that got a doctorate degree. He's a physician. It takes a special kind of woman to deal with a man with that line of intelligence. That's why every woman can't, be with a very successful man, because her lack of mentality could actually destroy him. If she's not smart and she's not bright, all the years it took him to build up where he is, she can destroy it just by her stupidity or lack of knowledge. And that is why men are very picky with who they decide to be successful with. Some of y'all, because some of y'all, y'all just as simple as damn kindergarten math, but that's another story. But you have more men that's going to think logically. Women think emotionally. Okay, they're not looking at the logical of what really makes sense. They're going on their heart and how they feel. And that's what has a lot of black women screwed up, because of going on feelings instead of going on what's logics. So that's the other reason for why black women pick up bums. It's self-esteem issues. You don't feel worthy of yourself. So the last thing you're going to do is pick up somebody who has confidence. That's too much of a threat to you. So that's one reason. This is another reason that black women pick up bums, because of to try to make up for their failures. And this is what I mean by making up for failures. For example, this is just a scenario. This ain't for everybody. A female who has had 3 or 4 different kids from 3-4 different men, okay? And basically, she struggled, being a single mom, having to do it all by herself and whatnot. So she thinks she can instantly make up for her failure by picking up somebody, regardless of what type of status he on, what kind of mentality he has. She is so desperate to try to correct her mistakes by bringing somebody else on instead of her trying to correct those mistakes by herself. You have a lot of women that try, black women, and women of other colors, but I can only identify with black women because I'm a black woman, so I'm not even about to go through all these other races. But a lot of women try to compensate for their failures. I had a girlfriend of mine, her first child was from a guy that she really didn't have a really good relationship with, and she struggled. She went by herself. She went through a lot within that first pregnancy by herself. Okay, so what she did when the child was big enough and she was ready to go back out there and date, she finally met a guy, married him real quick. Didn't really know him too well. They kind of had a history, whatever, back in the day, but she just really didn't know him well. And she married him quick, and she had a lot of children from him in a short nick of time. And she found out the hard way that he wasn't no better than the first one. And I think a lot of times women would rather jump on the next ship sailing than to be alone for a while and figure out where the hell did I go wrong. And that's how some women keep making the same mistakes, because they will not give their hearts and their vaginas a rest. They will not sit back and reflect and say, what the hell did I do wrong that made that last situation with that guy go the way it did? They trying so hard to make up for the pain and make up for the disappointment that has happened to them by bringing in someone else to help fix that problem. Thinking, okay, yeah, I have all these kids from these random men, and maybe this man, I could lock him in and be with me, and he could play daddy to my kids, and we can have a family and ride off into the sunset. There's so many black women jumping on the next ship, docking in, just to avoid having to go turkey and fix the problem by themselves. It's really a cop-out. It's basically a cheating. It's nothing but a straight, it's a straight hustle in a sense. You know what I'm saying? That you don't want to deal with this problem that you created by yourself. You don't want to sit down and analyze, why did I do this to me? Why did I have all these kids? Why did I not go to school? Why did I not get my degree? Why did I not have a good job? What is wrong with me? You won't analyze. A lot of black women will not evaluate themselves, and what they keep doing, they just go on and on and on, and it becomes a cycle. They go back into the same problem, and it's just a never-ending story. You know what I'm saying? So that's another issue. They be trying to make up for failure instead of learning to correct the failures that they created. This is another issue, and this happens a lot with black women in our community. Their mother has not trained them. I said it again, upbringing. If you grew up in a household and your mother had 8, 9 kids from random men, 9 times out of 10, it becomes a cycle. Fellas, you don't believe it? Dig into the woman you're dealing with. Evaluate her mother's situation. Evaluate the kind of women that's in her family. If the majority of the women in her family are uneducated, all of them got kids, all of them don't have any type of real career references and things of that nature, that already kind of tells you where her mindset is going to be, because she hasn't been raised and been taught to basically go at life a whole different angle. So basically, the way you was raised, that is what shapes your mind frame. If you've been around people who sold drugs all their life, that's what you're going to do. There's 2 things that play into a woman's mentality being molded the way it is. It has everything to do with her upbringing. And then the second thing is DNA. No, I'm going to say 3 things. First thing is her upbringing, which is how she raised. The second thing is DNA, because certain things we are just doomed from the womb. Certain things genetically have been embedded in us, and I'm gonna reflect more on that later. The third thing is your environment. You are a product of your environment. If that is all you see, it's like living in the projects. If all you see is everybody that lives out there got new cars, and living in the projects and just new clothes, that's all. That's just where your mindset is going to be limited. Now, if you in an environment, you in one of them nice neighborhoods where you see everybody is going to college, everybody has own their own businesses, that is the type of environment you are brought up in, shapes your way of seeing things. Okay? If all you around is pairs chicks that get pregnant every day, 9 times out of 10, that's just what the hell you gonna do. Because nobody is there showing you different. Nobody's there showing you different. And that's why my daughter, I try not to allow her to hang around females that have friends that have living those type of conditions. You know, because it rubs off. It's like a bad rash. You know what I'm saying? You ever notice a group of girls, all of them get pregnant around the same time? I'm telling you, it's like a bad rash. I mean, it's contagious. Stupidity and ignorance is more contagious than STDs. I'm serious, y'all. That has a whole lot to do with how black women are so screwed up, because their mothers are not sitting down and telling them nothing. Their mothers are too busy glamorizing the struggle and making them think it's okay to live in the projects for 30 years. It's okay to get WIC and stamps for 20, 30 years. They're not teaching them, okay, Do this for a year or two. When your kids get big enough, start making plans to get you a job. Start looking at different college universities to go into, because you cannot make a living off of this for the rest of your life. These black women are not sitting up here being honest with their daughters. They playing with them. They glamorizing the struggle with them. And as a mother, I notice a lot of black women who got mothers, I notice their mothers get really frustrated with them. You know, they start mistreating them and you know, belittling them. But at the same time, these are the monsters that they created. And now because you stuck helping your daughters in the struggle, because the only way, this is what parents got to realize, if you want your children out your house and you want to be able to get to that point one day where you could wake up and walk around your house booty butt naked, you're going to have to raise your children to be independent so they can get the hell on. Okay? If you let them still stay with you and produce babies, have children, never have a job, you will never have a life of your own. You will go from raising kids to grandkids, to great-grandkids, to great-great-grandkids. It'll keep going. You will never have a life. I always say, those who don't raise their children, you end up raising adults. And that is the truth. Don't raise them while they're young. Teach them the wrong way, that getting stamps and getting pregnant on purpose is the way of life. You're going to be having to help them walk those same shoes, because if they can't, evidently, they're not going to be able to grow or establish themselves if you did not give them the tools to establish themselves with. So that's the second reason, because these mothers are up here not being honest with them and telling them that poor choices will affect them in their womanhood. They're not doing that, fellas. So just keep in mind, again, you know, look at the women that's in her family, and it'll give you a really good indication of what type of female she's going to be. The next thing is, the anger becomes our defense mechanism. You know, and this really just reflects back to what I've been saying before. It's easy to stay angry with other people for our mistakes, because the realization of the painful part about honesty, I'm going to tell y'all, is being honest with yourself. Nothing is more painful than having to tell self, you effed up. This is your fault. That is the most painful part, having to tell yourself you done messed up. That's worse than somebody else telling you this, you that, because you could always point out their faults to make you overlook yours. Well, you can't tell me about this and that because you so and so and so. But when you got to come to yourself, that is a painful thing to do. But at the same time, it's liberating. When you could come to the point and say, I effed up, I know it, I got to do something better. That's when you have arrived. That is when you have arrived. As long as black women are not coming to terms with themselves that they are the reason they are in the situations they are in, they're going to continue to be miserable. They're going to be bitter. They're going to be hateful. They're going to be angry. They're going to always have a damn attitude, because you're angry with the choices you made. And until you do something different, you're going to stay angry. You're going to stay hating on the next chick. You're going to stay hating on your baby daddy. You're going to stay hating on everybody, because you have not cleared yourself spiritually and mentally. I mean, what you may not have to do, go to counseling, go to church, talk to older black women who've been there and done that. That's the problem with black women. We have too much pride. We like to call and gossip and run our mouth about this ain't that and it isn't this and that. But have you ever really come to that point where you really sat down and had a real, genuine, intellectual conversation with women who have been there and done that, who could tell you, honey, don't go this route because I went that route? Back then, I don't know about y'all, I love talking to older women, like grandmothers and elderlies in the church. I could listen to older women talk for hours, because I know they have real knowledge and I can always learn something from them. But the rest of y'all don't want knowledge. Y'all want handouts. And as long as y'all have that attitude, you're going to be just where you are. And again, you know, this is just, all of these reasons I'm explaining to you has everything to do with why black women pick up bums. Now, this is my last reason, and this is one of the utmost reasons a lot of black women are picking up bums. A lot of them are trying to retaliate back at an ex. We see it all the time. Don't act like y'all don't know what I'm talking about. A lot of y'all are still so hurt and so bitter about the last relationship because your baby daddy moved on, your husband moved on, your ex-boyfriend moved on. They seem like they're in a better place without you. They're doing better without you. Here it is with the next chick. They're going places. They're doing big things with her. And you feeling cheated for the simple fact that you felt like you put in just as much time, if not more, and it seems like the next chick is getting way more than you ever had when you was with that man. Okay, so instead of you giving yourself time to heal from that, and because you're so angry with him, you go and pick up the first man that give you some attention because you just that hurt, you just that angry, and you just that disappointed. You will not give your heart a rest. You go pick up the first man that smile on your face, all because you still feel like you got to prove to your ex, oh, I'm happy. We good. Yeah, I know you and your new chick may be doing well, and y'all may be traveling and going places. Got your new house, got your new car, but guess what? I'm good over here. Meanwhile, you're miserable because you didn't take the time to really get to know this man. You brought him in so quick out of retaliating because you feel like you got a point to prove to everybody else that knows your man, your ex-man, is doing better than you. It is so many black women out there doing that. They picking up these random dudes, creating these microwave relationships, all because they still bitter or angry about a man who don't want them anymore. Y'all can get in y'all feelings about it. If you're feeling some type of way, that must be mean because it's you, okay? Because if it ain't you, you're not going to feel some type of way, all right? So don't go throwing no shade on my vlog, and even if you do, I'm going to delete you anyway, so it don't matter. A lot of black women have made spiteful decisions over not getting what they really wanted, or things they felt like they should have been entitled to having. Okay, black women, give yourself time to heal. Give your heart time to re-heal. Give yourself time. Because when you're vulnerable, you pick up anything. And that's why a lot of us have picked up bums. Because we're so vulnerable, and vulnerability makes you thirsty. Being thirsty, being eager, being determined, you're going to have a man at all costs because you don't want to be alone, or you want to prove, you got a point to prove that you happy, or you trying to settle the score, or he got somebody, I'm going to get somebody too. Honey, that's not the route to go. That is really not the route to go. Take your time. Don't be trying to get back at folks by bringing somebody randomly into your life, all because you want to look like you got somebody too. Because you're going to be the one that's going to suffer behind closed doors. Because while you putting on this front and pretending that you happy and pretending you're in such a good place, you the one that got to live with that Negroid. You the one that's in a relationship with that no good Negroid that you pretending you so happy with. Nobody ain't got to live with it but you. So don't even play yourself. Don't even take yourself through any of that. Okay? But these are the issues that all of these, objectives I had just presented to you guys is the reason why black women are picking up bumps. Self-esteem, trying to make up for mistakes, the way their mother raised them, using anger as a defense mechanism, retaliating against the ex, all of these things. I know a lot of women who never really got past their last relationship. They still hurt, still disappointed that things didn't work out. And I'm going to be honest with you, men. It's very painful when a woman will put a lot of time, a lot of energy into you. And, to see you turn around and do so successful and well with the next woman. I mean, it's kind of like a slap in the face. But I'm not going to blame y'all 100% for that, because sometimes you have a lot of women who don't have enough patience to stand by you during your struggle. And it's not your fault that by the time you did get it together, somebody else came along to reap the benefits. I mean, I could have left my husband several times when he struggled, and somebody else would have had what I have now. I mean, my husband's a roofer. I stood by him through the struggle. We went through our issues. We went through our financial burdens. We had cars repossessed. We went through all of that, being young and dumb and not managing finances and stuff. But over time, because I stood by him until he matured and he grew up, now we're in a better position. Our home is paid for. We're not even in our 40s yet. And we own our own home. It's a lot of work we have to do on it to fix it up as it comes along. But, we don't have no big time mortgage. We ain't over here straining, we chilling. I mean, vehicles about paid for, we're in a good place. We just did things a little different compared to most black couples. We ain't sit up there moving no $200,000 house and a rent $1,200-1,500 a month. I mean, if you could do that, then I'm not knocking you, but you got to be honest with your circumstance. You average couple making it paycheck to paycheck. Don't try to look deep before you leap. But I'm saying I stood by him through his struggles, and I mean, his ex-wife, may feel some type of way because she feel like I'm benefiting and everything. But no, sometimes women do benefit for the fact that they had the patience or the tenacity to hang in there throughout the struggle. Don't get mad with the next person because they benefiting because they was able to hang in there and endure a little bit more than you could. The moment things ain't went right, you jumped ship. So that's your blessing you done lost out on. But that does it with my part 2, why black women pick up bums. If there's any other comments or suggestions, y'all know I am more than welcome to hear it. I want to give a shout out to Red Supreme. Thank you for, giving me your input. Uptown Girl, I would definitely tell you from what I'm reading, you are a down chick. You a down chick. To hear a black woman say, you know what? I messed up. I could have did better. I let a dummy put me in this messed up position. Girl, let me tell you something. You is bringing me light. You bringing me light. Because that's letting me know that you got an awakening. So I know good things are going to come for you. You know what I mean? That it's not your situation. It's what you do to better your situation. That's what people not understanding. And I believe just based on everything I read from you, you really have had an epiphany and you really want better for yourself. And I definitely keep in touch with me because I know good things are going to happen for you. I can just tell by the way you talk, the way you admitting that you made a bunch of bad choices based on just being blindfolded to reality. That's real. You don't have too many black women that do that. I love real black women who will sit up here and admit, I got issues. I need help. I want to better myself. How can I do this? I thank you. I love dealing with real black women that don't always try to sugarcoat stuff. I'm serious. Stuff like that just really makes me happy to realize it's a black woman out there that wants better and is willing to learn better, to do better. So with that being said, the rest of y'all, if I don't get back to y'all in time, don't think I forgot about you, because I haven't. I'm going to do another message very soon. I'm definitely going to do one for black married men, but I think I kind of want to hold off on that one. I want to do one about topic on don't glamorize the struggle, because I believe there's too many black women out here who got black daughters and they're glamorizing the struggle too.